if anyone's here. It is recording. I think I'm going to pause the recording until we resume recording. Awesome.
All right. You go ahead and start, Kim.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. We are so excited that you could join us. Actually, I'm really excited to be here with Teresa, because when we can share our journey, how we are ending up to say no to competition and instead collaborate together, how it's benefited both of us personally, business-wise, relationship, everything is just so much better. So my name is Kim VanderPoel. I am the owner of Fresh Impact, which is a social media management company. Basically, we want to help your business grow online. Teresa.
Yeah, and I would second what Kim said. I mean, it's amazing to me that we connected on Facebook a year ago, but I feel like you have been a part of my life forever just because of the relationship that we've been able to build by putting aside competition and just collaborating with each other and seeing how we can be a part of each other's business in collaboration rather than opposed with each other. So yes, I am Teresa with Web Designs by Teresa, and it's just my goal in life to fill the small business world with gorgeous websites that work as hard as you do. And by that, really, I want your website to be your best kept tool, the thing that helps you make your business better. And so that's kind of what my focus is. But yeah, so I'm going to dive in because I'm actually I think this is funny just to talk about this. We wanted to talk about the competition or collaboration over competition, creating community, because no matter how much we keep saying, let's lift each other up, let's create a community, let's come together, there's still that underlying aspect of competition. And we look at the people around us that are doing similar things to us and we're like, oh, I really like her, but she's my competition. And so a year ago, Kim and I were in that position. We were in that place to where we were considered competitors. I did some social media for people and websites. Kim was doing social media and websites. And we were kind of in a place of, we technically were competitors. But to me, I want to meet the people. Like my goal is if I find somebody who is going to be a competitor or I think could be a competitor, I want to know them. And I reached out and we maybe even reached out to each other kind of at the same time and said, hey, let's have coffee and see what happens. So the funny thing for me is that here when I looked at Kim, I thought, oh my gosh, this is somebody who has everything put together. Like she is this incredible businesswoman. She's got it all going on. Her business is so successful. I want to collaborate with people who are more successful than me. And I was so nervous. I was a hot, crazy, nervous mess when we got ready to meet for coffee.
And so was I. I was like, oh my goodness, like what? She's got this website. She's like all this and that in a handbasket. She's got it together. Right.
Which to me is the interesting piece of it, that we both looked at each other as being elevated above where we are, or, ourselves. Like we put ourselves down and elevated the other person thinking we just didn't have what it takes to be an equal. Whereas that's so not the case. I think we have well established that we are equals.
Right. And I think that especially because so many of us are online, I was actually talking to another colleague this morning, is that I think that most of us business owners, any of the friends, anybody that we know, anyone that comes to Coffee Connections, we are all successful business owners. We are all potential to look like we have everything together. However, sometimes in the online world, it doesn't always give that true picture, which I think through being brave, I mean, it was we both had to take a risk to agree to meet for coffee, and we had to be brave to show up for coffee and be vulnerable and honest with each other when we did create that connection. That sometimes what we see online isn't always the truth. And sometimes people appear to be certain ways online, and then when we actually get to know them different, that their motives and their goals are different. So that's where I do celebrate that when we did meet, or even like the gals that we meet at like Coffee and Connections, that they it's genuine. It's like we all really do. And when I did my training, my background as a nurse, we care for people. We just love people. That's what we do. That's what I was a good nurse. That's what I did. And thankfully, my training, one of the biggest things that she came across is that she really promoted community over competition, which is really different in the business world that we live in, is that I will talk to other colleagues, especially more in the, my community is male colleagues that are in this business world. And they're like, community or competition? No way. You've got to be against the competition. And so I think that through our example, through what we've developed, that it is really an amazing opportunity for everyone who, whether it's us or people that are in our circle or watching this webinar, to really embrace the community over competition. Like, we can still be, even though you and I are collaborating, I still have competitors in this world, in this arena, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. That it's just we all bring something different to the universe, to the world, and we all bring something different to even our specialties. Even if we're doing the same exact thing, we aren't going to serve everybody the same way, and not everybody needs to be our client.
Right. Well, and here's the thing that kind of cracks me up is that anyone who's really good with technology can build a website. Like, it doesn't take rocket science to build a website. And I know there's a lot of people out there that will build websites for some fast cash. And it's like a quick, simple website to make some fast money to help support them. And it's amazing how many people will hide that from me. And they're like, oh, well, like, I maybe created somebody's website, and they'll kind of hide it from me because they're worried that I'm going to see them as competition. I'm like, awesome, great, because I don't want to build everybody's website. I want to know other website developers and designers and things, because there are certain things that I don't love doing that I'm happy to, contract out and pay somebody else to do. There's clients that I know are not going to be a good fit for me that I would love having somebody to refer to. I just, to me, I don't see the world as competition, but I know that we do see that. And I've been in that place before where you see other people as competition. And I remember I was a life coach. So again, back to that, I want to take care of everybody. So I spent 5 years as a life coach. And while I was a life coach, there was a lot of people who did step in to be competitive in a sense of copying what I did, taking my event ideas and doing their own event based off of my ideas, doing some not so fabulous things, honestly, in competitors. But in this world now, and we'll get back to that in a little bit, but because I want to talk about ways that I navigate when somebody does really purposely compete with you. But in this world now, like, I don't see the world as competition. I don't look at people that I meet at Coffee and Connections that I know, like, how many people that come to Coffee and Connections can do websites or help with social media? Like, I don't see any of them as our competitors. I see them as colleagues and potential collaborators.
Right. So let's back up again. So people that haven't, let's go back to when we first met.
Okay.
I remember it. It was at Josiah's.
Yeah.
And the hour that we talked was like the fast. Like, it was like, holy crap, we've been talking for an hour. We're going to have to redo this again. Yeah. Because we did take the risk, and we're like very vulnerable with each other, like almost immediately. Like, it was what our soul kind of needed. Like, we just needed another person, woman, that was going through the same thing with our businesses. And our businesses are about equal as far as in years of service, longevity, where we're at with our goals. And so it was really cool, like, the first time we met and then just chatting. And I think immediately it was like, I'm done. I can do websites. I can build websites if I really wanted to, but you can do it so much better and more efficiently, that now I am so thankful I have you to refer my clients to.
Oh yeah, I absolutely felt that too. When we met, I had just got done with a campaign, a temporary social media campaign for a client, and I love the client, adore her. Hated every minute of doing that social media. And I had been looking for other people who could do the social media aspect, and had met with some other people and talked to them about it. But like you said, when I met with you, I was like, oh my gosh, here is somebody who has my values. Here is somebody who really wants to care for their clients. Here's somebody I could trust. Thank God I never have to do another Facebook campaign again.
Well, right now, being in Facebook jail, I kind of almost think the same thing, but one of these days, maybe we can post bail and get me out of jail. And then I will be saying the same thing. But yeah, it is so nice to be able to have a trusted resource. And I think that is like, we underestimate what's going to happen when you first meet someone that is like, we were direct competitors. And I'm sure if you mentioned it to someone like, I'm going to meet with Kim and I'm going to meet with Teresa, like, oh, why? Why would you meet with somebody who is your direct competition? And that proves a point. I know what you've said to me, and I'll let you go ahead and share, is like when you meet somebody that is your direct competitor or you hear about them, how you handle it is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I will say the first thing for me is that when I walk into a room, a networking event, a group, or meeting anybody, or even just a one-on-one coffee date, I don't walk in with the idea of, can I sell it to them, or are they going to steal my business? Like, I never think about it from that perspective. I walk in focusing on my values first, because I think when we focus on what our values are first, you're in a good place and a good mindset. So when I walked in to meet with you, like, I was nervous to meet you because, like I said, I had thought you were just so amazing, and I was like nothing. I diminished what I was accomplishing in the world. But I knew that my values are to take responsibility for where I'm at in this point in time in my life, and that my goal is to always serve with excellence and to do so from a place of happiness. Those are my values. And so when I walked in to meet with you, like, I wasn't worried about you stealing my clients. I wasn't worried about you doing those things. And it's perhaps you would have. I mean, I've had a situation where a business partner in the past actually stole our event and launched it as her own event individually. And so we have those situations where that happens. But for me, that's between her and her karma. I don't have to stress about it because I came in from a place of focus on my own personal values to meet with you so that we could do so from a pure place.
Right. Which I do appreciate. And I'm very thankful that we were able to connect and then now collaborate, and how we can support each other as our businesses continue to grow.
Yes. Yeah. And then that's the other thing too, I would say, is when it comes just talking about how do you deal with the competition. For me, it's invite them to coffee and get to know that person a lot better, because what you'll find is most of the time they're not your direct competitor. You know, like you and I found in our relationship, like we were on your website, like you mentioned, you did websites, you did social media, you did all these things. I have the exact same list of services, worded slightly differently, but the exact same list of services. But when we met and had a chance to communicate and talk, like we realized we were not direct competitors, and that we actually complement each other's businesses much better than when we were trying to be separate entities completely away from each other.
Right, right. So let's just do some scenarios and role playing here. So I have someone that we do exactly the same, and you start to see where they have taken a few of your wording, your focus, your direction that you're going from your website, and you start seeing them infiltrate that, whether it's intentionally or subconsciously that they're doing it. What would you suggest to someone that they're doing that?
So the first thing is take them to coffee. That's my first thing is, hey, can we chat? And even if they're not locally, I would say, hey, let's check with a Zoom call and see if they'll connect for a meeting. Because when you meet with somebody face to face, they don't know, all of a sudden you're a person. You're not just somebody with a clever idea that they copy. You're a person, and they take on a different level of responsibility. So that's the first thing I always do is like, let's meet. Let's try and meet with each other. That being said, I know in some cases those people will refuse to meet with you. Like they're not going to connect and they're not going to meet with you. And so in that case, for you specifically, when you see their post on Facebook where they're copying your stuff, I would comment on it. I would comment, not like you stinking rat, you stole my stuff. Like I'm not going to be that person, but because whatever.
Jail. I'm just telling you, you'll go to Facebook jail.
You're not going to Facebook jail. No, but I would comment and be like, oh, wow, take a look. I love this post. Very clever wording or something like that. And just like in a positive way, comment and be supportive and lift them up a little bit, because not only are they going to realize that you're not coming at them to take their business away from them, they're going to see that you have a positive approach to stuff. They're also going to see that you are watching what they're doing and that you are aware that they're copying your stuff. And it's going to make them be a little bit more conscious and aware of what they're doing and copy a whole lot less. Because I think sometimes people don't intend to copy.
Right. And where I see it happening, I don't really think, I think it's more of a subconscious, like, oh, and then it's like I've done it myself. It's like I see an idea and then all of a sudden like, oh, that's a good idea. And then another month later or something, it's like, oh, I got this big idea. It's like, well, really, I already had, someone else had planted that idea. And it's very easy to misinterpret that.
Yeah. And it is obvious too. I had a client that actually in her community, her direct competitor, all of a sudden her website started shifting and matching my client's website, from the branding colors to the font choices to the wording. Like it was very deliberate. But again, in that case, like she went and met with that person and had coffee with them, and now there is no competition anymore.
Correct.
They serve entirely different communities. They both know that, and this other person's website is now starting to look more like her.
Awesome. And I think that is one thing that where I'm at in the business now is realizing that we all bring our own unique flavor. And so there are lots of social media managers in this world, but none of them approach it exactly the same way that I do it. And that's okay, because that is how I think it's how it's designed to be. So like the web design, there's going to be they're going to have different approaches. It's kind of like dieting. There is not one diet that works for everybody. And there is not one social media manager that works for everybody. There's not one Shelley's an author. There's not one author that's always going to be the right fit. But that's okay. And that we just need to shine. And I know I have a client that she's a coach, and she was talking about jealousy and competition and how to handle the jealousy of your competitors. And she had such wise words. She said, when you're focused on what you do and what you do well, there really is no room for jealousy, because you know what you are doing well and what you're offering to your clients, to the world.
Yeah. And I totally 100% agree with that. And that goes back to what I was saying about the values. Like, I know my core values are responsibility, serve with excellence, and happiness. And so when I approach my business, whether it be launching a new website, creating a new product, working on doing some coaching with other people, whatever the case is, when I come at it from my values and that's my focus, I don't even see what people who consider me competition are doing. Like, I don't even know what they're doing. And if I come across it, I'm like, oh, awesome. Woo, way to go. Like, that's so incredible. Like, there's no room for jealousy. There's no room for worry or fear or stress when you're coming at it from that heart-centered place of your values.
Right. I 100% agree.
Yes.
Well, Dana or Shelley, if you have any questions or thoughts, you're welcome to comment in the message section and we can look at that. I had a thought about competition, collaboration, and then if we take it another step further, even to extend the conversation on value that we provide. So we'll use social media. One of the things that I hear a lot from clients that I work with, and I'll say, well, you need to provide some values to people, and why would they want to get to know you? Why would they want to sign up on your email list? So give them value. And they're always, a lot of times will say, well, then my competition will steal it, or they're going to steal my ideas, or they're going to if I put out that I'm doing an ebook on social media strategy, then, well, they don't need me then because they're going to be doing it themselves.
Yeah, and that's so far from the truth. And in fact, this new product planner that I just launched talks a lot about that, and it dives into looking at it, because there's no one like you. There's nobody out there that is exactly like you. Nobody has your past experiences or your perception of those past experiences. Nobody's learned lessons the way you have. And so you as a social media manager are going to approach it completely different than somebody else, even though the nuts and bolts are the same. Like, yes, you're posting to Facebook, you're posting to LinkedIn, you're posting there. But the way you approach it, the way you connect your customers to their online followers is going to be different. And there is no one like you at all, is my thoughts. You've just got to bring your own unique flavor to it.
Right, right. Let's talk a little bit about how we're going to take what our meeting and our collaboration to begin with, how we first met, and now how we are expanding that, what we thought was competition, and now where we're going to be collaborating in the future and what some of our goals and dreams are, just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to let you start with that. I'm so excited, and I talk too much, I know. So I'm going to let you go.
Oh, no, I think that you don't. Yeah. So, a while back, we had launched Grow Your Biz, and I invited Teresa to kind of come in and help collaborate with that, just simply from lack of time and with her experience and knowledge, that I thought she'd be a great partner on Grow Your Biz. And Grow Your Biz community is just to help businesses use the online tools needed to grow their business and become a trusted resource. And I think that's one of our goals, is one, community, and the second is trusted resource, because there's a lot of crap going out on Facebook. People will say, trick the algorithms, or will say, do this. And there's just a lot of nonsense that don't really hold their weight in truth. And so we want to become a trusted resource, and we want to support people to help them grow their business online. We totally understand that most of our clients are a little bit further along in business, and they have budgets for marketing, they have budgets for websites. But when we first start out, there's not a lot of support, there's not a lot of resources, and we want Grow Your Biz to be that resource. So we are now joining efforts 100% completely. Teresa is building us a beautiful website to help be a house for us. And we plan on doing more webinars, bringing on guests and having roundtables and bringing in your questions and stuff, because I would say my mission is that I want to have everybody else make an impact. And for you to make an impact in your business, in your life, if I can be a little part of that, then I consider that success. And so, I don't know, you want to speak more on it?
Yeah, well, and I would just say from my perspective, what I love about this collaboration is because as a new business owner starting out, when I started my life coaching business 8 years ago, I didn't have money. I didn't have resources. I didn't want to take out a business loan, but I needed online stuff. I knew I needed an online presence in order to succeed in this world. I needed a website. I needed social media, and I needed some help and guidance to get that set up. And it was so difficult to navigate. And I know you've experienced some of this too. As a new business owner, like, who do you listen to? Who do you trust? Where do you go? And I've known people who spend, like $1,000 on a website, which felt like a horrible, painful thing. And then they get a horrible website on top of it. And so what I love about Grow Your Biz is that we are going to be providing you guys with reasonable solutions to help you grow your business online, so you don't have to struggle as much as we did. I mean, I became a web designer by accident, simply because the choices that were out there and the resources to support the small business owner doing it themselves were terrible. They were garbage, and I wanted to be a better resource. And so this is a natural progression to this.
Right. So I'm super excited. If you're not part of the Grow Your Biz Facebook group, please join. I am banned from posting at this moment, so hopefully as soon as we can start posting again, we can update you. I believe that we're talking about doing a webinar for next week, but I can't remember what our topic is, so I will post that in the group once I get my notes out. But yeah, so if you have topics that you're interested in, if you have a pain point like, I really wish someone would help me on this, message us, and we will see if we can't find, if we don't have the experience, find someone that does have the experience with that, so that they can speak on it to help educate all of us.
And then, so yeah, we do have a series of webinars coming out weekly. And then we also, in December, we are going to be starting to do some roundtable laser coaching. It'll be a small group. This is coaching with a fee, but you're not going to have to invest thousands of dollars to work with a coach who gives you evergreen products, which is what I had a lot of when I was getting started out. This is where you will be doing group coaching with Kim and I for an hour with a small group of people, and talking about the topics that you guys are interested the most in. Like you had this great webinar not too long ago with Christy about setting up MailChimp. I mean, there's so many things that we can talk about. So if you guys have something specific that you're looking for, that you want to learn more about, those, I want you to let us know, because that could be one of the topics that we address in the roundtable coaching group, mini coaching sessions.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, do you have anything else?
I don't, but thank you guys so much for joining us here. I know it was a little bit of more of a free-form conversation today, and maybe, you know, it's not exactly what you were looking for, but I just want to leave you guys with the idea that you don't have to be in competition with anybody. Like, nobody is like you. Just be the best version of yourself, focus in on your values, and your business is going to succeed because you are who you are. It's not going to succeed because you're following somebody else. Success comes from within.
Yes, it does. And if there is a competitor that like you kind of just like, see if they will meet for coffee, because really, if we wouldn't have met for coffee, I really don't know if I would be where I'm at in my business right now. So
I don't think that I would have a business right now if we hadn't met for coffee. I'm not even going to lie, because there's lots of ups and downs. As for both of us, we've gone through a lot of ups and downs in the past year in business, and we both love the work that we do, but it's easy to want to give up sometime. And if it wasn't for having this connection, like, I know I would have given up.
Right. And I think that's with one of the goals of the group too, is that there'd be enough support in the group that when you, like last night at 10 o'clock when I was in jail again, I messaged Teresa and said, I am in jail and I'm in tears because this really impacts the business and all the extra work and it's just been a real challenge to have someone that I could trust who was a competitor, but now I could trust that says, hey, thanks, and can you help me, please? And she did. She was like, take a deep breath. It'll be fine.
We're here. We're good. Yeah, we're good. It's all good. So,
all right. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, let us know, and we will see you in the group.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.